Cool. All right. Welcome, everyone. So half of you, this is day 2. The other half of you, this is 367 days in the program, but you didn't get to do this last time.
Okay, he's gonna Zoom with you here. So here's Leslie. You guys are just gonna talk about your autobiographies for about 10 minutes. So.
Okay, so
keep up with each other on it.
okay, so my name is Leswin, and the most important things to me in the world are, I would say, just family overall, being outside and just trying to stay active physically, you know. Thank you.
For me, I do the same thing she does, but I work for the claim, so I have a queue with Hannah and Nestor. And for us, same thing, teamwork is really important because we have to divide up the work.
When I went over there along with, I don't know, I think there was 50 business leaders plus Governor Hickenlooper, we were just blown away by the breadth and depth of the apprenticeship program over there.
Well, when you're trying to create something new that people in this state have never seen, like a whole new apprenticeship program, you need some champions and you need people to help change public sentiment. You know, when Pinnacol stepped in and said, we're not just going to take 1 or 2, we're going to build, and we're going to go to 5% of our workforce is going to be apprentices, and we're going to work through career-wise. All of a sudden, we had that champion.
This is transformative work. So whether it's the young person, whether it's the family, whether it's the business, or the community in which we all reside, this is transformational work.
One thing that I was interested in this apprenticeship was just the experience and opportunities that are given with it. So,
my name is Jacob. I'm a senior at Eagle Crest. The thing I'm looking forward to most with this is just getting experience in a professional job.
Getting hands-on experience and opening up my network.
So on the first day of Pinnacol, when we first started, everyone was there on site. It was good, you know, they welcomed us, they got us our accessories instead of the computer, and we took a tour, and they were telling us little things, you know, that we'd be doing. Here's your team, and showing us around. It was great, you know. I was hoping to learn a lot and really get to know and build a relationship with everyone at Pinnacol.
So you probably discovered that The Amazing Race is about what?
The core values of Pinnacol.
The core values of Pinnacol, right? The world is changing, the world of work is changing, so maybe these need to change. Are these appropriate? Should we keep these the same, or should something change? Should we add something in to address the new way that we're running business? So take a couple minutes and we'll share out in a moment.
When you have integrity, you should have that kind of like being respectful towards confidential information that you should keep to yourself. Yeah, being respectful to that client.
It would be good to project that as a company that we're inclusive of everyone.
I was looking at all the apprentices that are like all grown up and everything. And I just like telling them like motivating words of like what I wanted to hear on my first day. Like, it's gonna get better. It's hard at the beginning. Like, because I always wanted someone to tell me that. At that point, I was like, I want to get hired full time. So since the beginning of last year, so January 2021, I told my friend, I was like, I'm gonna get hired full time by the end of the year. And she's like, no. And I was like, yeah, I am. Like, I just wanted like my future to path out now and see what fields I could be in at Pinnacol.
So my position is the help desk at Pinnacol.
First thing we're gonna do as everyone gets signed in is I'm going to have them introduce themselves to you.
Pinnacol Assurance is a workers' comp insurer. We're a specialty insurer. We operate only in Colorado. So we do one thing, and we do it very well for the people of Colorado.
Every workers' compensation kind of company values people working through their injuries. But in most other insurance companies, the return to work component, also customer service experience. So that's another biggie, like I've kind of been mentioning, knowing how to work with people. And a big piece of our job is kind of overcoming that initial barrier of what can they even do.
Was it raining all day? Do you know?
No, it wasn't raining on my way up here. Right now it's only gonna be Tuesday, isn't it?
Yeah, so far just Tuesday, every Tuesday. It was pretty cool to see just how they work with supporting and assisting injured workers and policyholders. It was good. Getting them back to work, supporting them, assisting them with solutions. It was pretty good. The apprenticeship, excited, I guess. It's a new experience for myself, and I've never really been in an apprentice or internship or anything like that, so I think it's pretty cool. Excited.
There's so many college students that have to pay their way through school, me being one of them. I work 20 to 30 hours, sometimes 40 hours a week. Investing in an apprenticeship program shows a commitment to development, and it was one of the attractive features of coming to the organization. And so the fact that there's an apprenticeship program, I knew that we could build off of that. One of the things we're committed to is really focusing on career development for all, and so we're gonna leverage the learnings from the apprenticeship program to apply it across the whole company.
Okay, so mine is a little simple too, but an accomplishment that I'm proud of from this apprenticeship is just meeting everyone, all the great people here, and getting to know them. You know, you build connections, and just you see so many new people. It expands sort of your, I guess, relationships. So
my thing that I'm most proud of is participating on the panel, the work-based learning. I showed myself well, and like my personal brand was on point, and I represented Pinnacol well. So, and I got to like show my public speaking skills. So it was nice.
My biggest thing is just being here and being able, like Jacob said, to grow. And you guys do make it very like a safe space to be able to like, you know, make mistakes, but like it's always okay. So that's I think that's just the best part.
I think overall, one of the things that we've found with apprentices like Leswin is when you have a good attitude, you're organized, you communicate effectively, you understand the value of this opportunity, and you're open to the experience, those apprentices tend to really thrive. And I think Leswin falls into that category where his attitude from day one has been outstanding. His communication from day one has been outstanding. You know, we don't hear anything bad about him from his supervisor. He's attentive, following through. We're trying to pull a little bit more out of him so that he can continue to express himself.
And so in the eyes of these young people, what is so powerful is the limitless potential they have to break through what I believe is a cement ceiling.
It's a great way to accelerate one's learning. Getting that experience in my teens versus getting that experience at age 21 is a big difference.
As far as just where we are sitting programmatically, 20 apprentices in the program for Q3. We added cohort 5, so that was 5 apprentices. And then we had 2 full-time hires in Nari and Hannah, so they're now no longer in the program, but still within the organization. So that's kept us at.
Where'd they go up to? In claims?
So they're both in the business development representative. So kind of like a junior underwriting position.
This might be news to the agent when we get back to them and say they actually have to make a payment.
A payment of $432.
So, but do you see how we got to that number?
Yeah, in the financial.
Cool, send it.
It was really important to gain the experience on the job. I was in the marketing team. I learned a lot of different things there. And I feel like now I can put in my new role, learning phone skills, how to send an email, you know, communication skills, how to talk to people in person and on the phone. That's definitely something that I had to get used to, get trained on and everything, because in high school I didn't, I mean, obviously they don't teach you that. So all of those skills were able to help me and gain all the experience I wanted from the apprenticeship, you know, collaborating with all my teammates, helping them out, them helping me out. I feel like I had a lot of more opportunities than people that I went to high school with. Like if I'm not to stay with Pinnacol, I feel like even like just on my LinkedIn, I get a lot of messages with people like, oh, you're in insurance? Do you want to come and work for us, you know? So I feel like I opened a pathway for me.
As we consider investments in education and workforce, we need to keep in mind that not everyone's going to go to college. They don't need to go to college to be successful. Some people go to college at different times. Only 35% of young people in the United States ever complete a bachelor's degree or higher. Apprenticeships and other on-the-job training programs are powerful alternatives that help shift the conversation away from the traditional narrow 4-year degree path and toward the skills needed to find successful careers in jobs that exist today. Noel, why don't you start with your testimony?
Thank you, Senator Hickenlooper, and thank you for being such an advocate, both when you were a business owner, a mayor, a governor, and now senator. The challenges we have as a country to address the issues, Senator Braun, that you spoke so deftly about, is that there are multiple paths to opportunity in this country. And because of that, I left a business that I founded over 41 years ago because I believe that this model of apprenticeship that I'm going to share can be transformational for our country, for our businesses, and for our young people. And apprenticeships are unique because it moves at the speed of business. Schools cannot be expected to modify their curriculum in the tech industry, as an example, where code may change every year. So this is a way to blend the learning that takes place in the classroom with the power of the learning that takes place in the workplace. Education belongs in both places.
Ms. Navarro?
Good morning, everyone. Thank you for my invitation to speak today. My name is Narai, and I completed my registered apprenticeship with Pinnacol Assurance in Denver, Colorado, and became a full-time journey worker as a business development representative at Pinnacol. Before my apprenticeship, I didn't know what path I was going to be in. I would probably pick something random and would have gotten stuck in something that isn't fulfilling. That's what a lot of people my age do. They don't feel like they have options. But because of my apprenticeship, I feel like I do have options. Because of my apprenticeship, I have experience, confidence, a career path, and the ability to provide for myself.
So could you just talk a little bit about how old you were when you got connected into this, and what difference you think it would make if you had had that exposure even earlier in your educational career?
So I started actually my sophomore year summer. I started two internships, my summer of sophomore and junior year. these kind of lead me into going into the workforce and going into working instead of going to college, because I really enjoyed my experience. But it was 6 weeks, and I was also doing work that wasn't very much enjoyable. It was work that they probably left off for the intern that was going to be there in the summer.
Getting to go and testify within the Senate is pretty cool to begin with, and doing it with an apprentice was even more special because sitting next to me was actually the product of what this was intended to do, and she was so eloquent.
And then with Pinnacol, they did a 6-month training that went with time management, how to do a handshake, how to dress professionally, dress for the day. I didn't know how to dress for the day with my internship. And now, you look at me, I'm here. I know how to shake a hand. I know what to do now, public speaking and everything. So
Talking to an RIE, you get this sense of just how important it is to get kids to buy in. I think back to myself, when I was 17, 16, I didn't have a lot of self-confidence, and I would immediately look and see which other kids were doing it.
And she's so articulate and so focused now on what her future is, and she's now in control of it and knows what she wants. And because Pinnacol has, for all their employees, benefits to go on to post-secondary, she's taking advantage of that as well. So she was extraordinary, much better than me.
now being 19 years old here, talking in front of the Senate is definitely a big impact of what now I want students to be doing that now. In Colorado, I want to see my little brother, he's 14 years old. I told him, you have to do an apprenticeship. He's like, I can't wait till I'm a sophomore and I can start my apprenticeship, my internships, then go into an apprenticeship and be exactly like how you are right now.
Ms. Navarro, I think you're a good organizer. I really appreciate your feedback. Thank you, Mr. Chair, for letting.
So yeah, I remember hearing about your, what was it, Senate testimony? Yeah. How was that?
Oh, it was fun. It was great. Yeah, I went to Washington, D.C. to testify for the Senate about apprenticeships. It was great. I mean, I don't know. I advocate for them all my high school and like now too. I mean, not being an apprentice anymore, you know, but I advocate for them and I want like everyone to do them because I swear they change your life. They're like that path, you know, and for me, college was never like a thing, I guess. So when I found out about an apprenticeship, I know it would definitely be, I love working and I love making money, obviously. Yeah.
But yeah, it's good.
It's good.
So far, so good. I feel like this year is the most challenging, 11th. That's what I hear as well.
SAT's coming up too.
Everyone, yeah, correct. And, you know, everything now is applying for college if you want to, and then, you know, 11th, you got the SAT, and you're only 1 year away from your senior year, you know, make sure you're on track and everything.
You have to apply to all your colleges next year and everything.
But yeah, it's going good so far.
Okay, like my first year of the apprenticeship, you know, getting used to my schedule, talking to all the other apprentices about their struggles and just like being like, what challenges are you facing right now? And like, how can we help each other and stuff, you know? And also like having a goal for myself every month, because with time management, I would like completely forget what my goals were for the month. So at the beginning, I would like set 3 goals and I would have to complete at least 2 of those, and that last one was like a long-term goal, you know? But I always had goals every month because I feel like you can just keep growing. So I'd be like, okay, I want to get better at like doing a phone call, 2 phone calls every week or 3 phone calls, you know? So just little things that like help me to set that all good, and like I feel like now I'm good at it. Yeah.
I guess it's really, you know, similar to your challenges. It's really managing the time, school, my life, the apprentice program, just being able to, you know, do it all efficiently and accurately, you know, being able to do it equally, you know, make sure I have time for myself, make sure I have time for school, make sure I have time for the apprentice, and, you know, overall being successful in it. But I think that's one of the main challenges, you know, that. Denver Online High School. It's an all-remote high school, so online, at home. It can be good in some cases, as, you know, being at home, working from home, you know, everything's just accessible here. You're learning and working. You don't have to go to school and then worry about driving back or things like that, having a ride. But I think being at school is a better place that I enjoy, you know, having that environment, being there in the building. I guess it is kind of a struggle, but like right now I'm working, it's not a final, it's just a catch-up work that I have missed, you know, or I want to retake and to improve my grade, because the current grade right now is pretty bad, and, you know, I have to be able to improve my grade, so I have to work on this and get it done before tomorrow.
Some of them say, you know, I see Pinnacol as my career, which is great. But, you know, for those that decide that they're going off in other directions for whatever reason, you know, what I would tell them and what I think about, you know, the paths that they might see before them are not the only choices, the only paths they can take. So take that courage, take the things that you've learned, both the very concrete things, but also this sense of mission and of new ideas and moving forward, and take that as you go out into the world. And if you do that, then we're going to consider what we've done here just a huge success.
I'm no longer in the apprenticeship program, so I resigned. I'm no longer continuing. I really wanted to continue the program. It was such a great opportunity, you know, the things it offered. Pinnacol was very supportive, and I guess with everything, they were really there, assisting you, helping you. It was all good, but I really decided to just focus on school, you know, drop it and make sure I graduate on time. So I'm attending West High School in downtown Denver. But yeah, it's going good, grades are good, performance in school. We all have different paths and experiences. I wasn't, unfortunately, able to complete the whole program, the 3-year. So, but I think I've learned a lot, you know, being there, working with Mark, Julie, Cheyenne, my cohort, and, you know, as a career pathway, you know, having a job in the technology field, somewhere around that area, IT, maybe computer information systems. It was it was the main reason I joined Pinnacol. I wanted to gain knowledge and experience there from that career and pathway, so yes.
What stood out to me at a time when obviously this country is so divided, it was a full hearing room, and there was real agreement on what we were trying to accomplish.
How do we scale up dramatically?
Thank you for the question, Senator. It's obviously the most important question. Is this just a nice program, or can it change our country? We've seen our first apprentices graduate into good jobs that pay living wages with a path towards post-secondary if they choose. So it's really checking all the boxes except one. And that's really what today is about. It's how do we generate scale through business. So this is attainable. This isn't actually about a program. It's about changing how we think about workforce and opportunity in the state and ultimately in this country.
There are millions of young people in America right now that are in our high schools all across America that have no idea what their future holds. And when you create that pathway, when a company reaches out and opens the door for them, that opens the door for a whole new realm of possibilities.
They are then in a position to make a decision about whether that's where the path they want to be on, or whether that path is going to take them to a PhD.
I think that the time is right more than ever before because of the workforce shortage. It was a nice to have thing 2 or 3 years ago. I think it's quickly become a must have where you can access and unlock additional talent for your business, significantly bolster your pipeline.
I'll add another incentive, which everyone should care about, is it is one of the very few things in the Senate where we can get real bipartisan support.
What was born in Colorado is actually having a national impact. But we need to move to scale. We have the leadership. You've heard from them, and they're extraordinary. And so are you.
I think apprenticeship should be everywhere. I heard that Washington, D.C. is trying to get career-wise over there with students to get. I have cousins in California that I know if I tell them where I work, and they're like, why isn't that here? And I'm like, I don't know, let's get it there. Let's get you an apprenticeship. Let's find schools that can provide that. So I feel like if it was everywhere, students would be able to, you know, step into college and not spend money on like things that they're not interested in. They'd be able to do school and work and balance both of those out.
I am very proud of her because she's accomplished so much at such a young age. I tell some of my friends, I'm like, yeah, my sister has a job at home and she gets paid this much, and she's like, what? They're like, what? She's 20 years old. And a lot of my friends my age, they're like, I wish I would have had something like that.
Getting hired full time, it's a huge accomplishment for me. Moving out of my parents' house and being able to like provide for myself, live on my own, you know, try to, you know, pay my bills and everything, become an adult.